So today is Christmas Eve, and I thought it would just be interesting to talk about Christmas and why, for me and many other people, Christmas is probably one of the most depressing holidays of the year. And I think a lot of it stems from a lot of my personal experiences and things that have happened. I've had a lot of experiences and fights and just things that have all occurred numerous times all around the last several months of September, November, and December. So the last 3 months of the year have always been very discouraging and depressing for me, even if I'm in a good mindset, because you have a lot of bad memories around a certain holiday or a certain thing that's going to be reminded every time that holiday comes around. And I feel as if a lot of people feel the same way regarding Christmas. There's a lot of reasons that I'm not a big fan of Christmas, but it is interesting because I'm to the point now, and a lot of people may say that this is fucked up, but I don't give gifts for Christmas anymore. My family still buys me gifts for Christmas, but I don't buy them gifts for Christmas. And if I do, it's like one gift. I just don't do it very often. And the reason I don't do this is because I find that well, to back up is, I have some people in my family who've always expected gifts. Like, if you give them a gift, they expect you, they will give you something back out of expectation. Not because they want to give you a gift, but because they expect something back from you. And I've had previous holidays, several years ago, where they're like, "Where's my gift? You didn't get me a gift?" And then they call you selfish and stuff, all because you didn't get them a Christmas gift. And from those types of experiences, Christmas has kind of been tainted for me. Because it's so heavily relied upon commercialization and consumerism. And there's nothing wrong with consumerism around the holidays, there's nothing wrong with commercialization, but I don't like it, and I don't like participating in it, and therefore that's why I used to buy Christmas gifts all the time, but I don't buy Christmas gifts for my family anymore, just because if they want to buy me a gift, that's fine. It may seem selfish or self-centered, but I'd rather go spend a day with my family on Christmas Day and spend time with them, quality time, and talk with them and stuff like that, than worry about a Christmas gift that they expect from me, or that I don't like the whole gift reciprocation thing. I never have, even when I was younger. When I was younger, I never grew up with Santa. I was always the kid that would go to other kids and say Santa isn't real, and then we'd get in an argument. I'm 6 years old. Get in an argument over whether Santa was real or not, and I would use kid logic, whatever that was at the time, to make them discouraged that Santa wasn't real. So I never grew up with Santa, but I definitely grew up with the concept of God, which is ironic. Another thing about Christmas I just found funny is that the older I got, the less and less gifts that I've received under the Christmas tree. Because I think the top most, when I was like 7 or 8 years old, I think the top list of gifts I had, I think, was 15 gifts under the tree. And I always remember that, because that was like the day that I was most excited for Christmas gifts, because I had the most. And then every year after that, it seemed like I got one gift less, one gift less, one gift less. But what I also find interesting is that as I got older, my parents would always ask me, "What do you want for Christmas? Give us a Christmas list." And as that list was given to them, I never received any of the gifts I ever asked. And they weren't even too expensive, They weren't like crazy, like $500 gifts. They were just basic things that I liked as a kid. And as I got older, my parents, or anyone in my family, never, excuse me. My parents, never got me what I wanted, which was fine, but I was always discouraged at Christmas, is because they would always ask me for a Christmas list, and then I would give them the list, and then they would never get anything. And it was when I was 12 years old where my dad said, "Oh, by the way, this is my new flask. Isn't it beautiful? It's a trap. I love it. If you see me drinking this in videos, it's because I'm drinking Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey whiskey, and I like that stuff." But it was at the age of 12 where my parents told me that they will no longer, and this is where Christmas kind of just disintegrated in front of my face, and I was like, you know what, screw Christmas, I hate Christmas now, is when my parents told me at age 12, this was when I had a Nintendo GameCube and the original Xbox, that they will no longer buy me video games as a gift under any circumstance, because My parents thought that I was addicted to video games when I was younger. I really wasn't. I was just fucking alone. I had no friends. I was outcasted in the church. So what did I have? I had video games. That's really all I had, and they really limited and controlled me on that. Because they thought I was addicted to video games and thought it was bad for me. They thought that, and now like look at that, I make videos on YouTube and I can make money off video games. All the things. My mom and dad, if you're watching this, you guys screwed up. But when they told me that, I was just heartbroken that they would never buy me another video game. They said under any circumstance they wouldn't give me money to buy video games. They wouldn't look at, if I put it on a list, they would never consider it. And it was hard for me as a kid because that's all I had at the time was video games to help me get through a lot of the issues that I was going through, especially in puberty was a huge thing for me. So then I started learning, then I started doing, you know, chores around the house where I would make $10 a week. $10 a week, I'd clean 2 bathrooms and mow an acre of lawn. An acre of grass I would mow just to earn $10. And then I would use that $10, I'd go to GameStop or Game Crazy. Game Crazy doesn't exist anymore. But I would go to Game Crazy and I would spend $40 on a game that had been previously used. And that's kind of how I got into my mindset of always saving for and buying my own things and not having people buy things for me, is because my parents, despite me hating it, really taught me that I need to work for my own stuff that I want. So that's a good thing that I learned about, that all stemmed from Christmas. But I think one of the biggest things that I don't like about Christmas is how Twitter, and I try not to use Twitter around Christmas time much, Twitter, you know, always has that trend of what I didn't get for Christmas, and there's people bitching and complaining about literally what they didn't get for Christmas, which is why I go back to my original point about consumerism and commercialization. While there's nothing wrong with it, I can't stand it. Like, it just amazes me how narcissistic this generation is and how we have to have things. And this is coming from a materialistic person who is now, as of the past few months, been almost selling all of my belongings. Like, I don't have a whole lot of toys and action figures anymore. I'm getting rid of a lot of my stuff, my comics. I'm holding on to really precious stuff that I really like and love within Star Wars, but I'm getting rid of a lot of my stuff because I've been so materialistic throughout my life, and it's not something that I want to be anymore in terms of always wanting to have things, because no matter how much you think that those materials and those toys and those comics, they're not going to fill that empty void that you have. Materialism does not fill the loneliness and emptiness you have. It's just like, you know, you can have a lot of money. Money can bring you temporary happiness, but it's not going to bring you to full happiness. It's just not. And that's why I have so many, that's why I had so much stuff growing up and buying myself all these things, is because I felt as if having things made me feel better and made me feel more complete, but it just was an empty hole of filling stuff that filled it temporarily, but ultimately never solved the real problem. People bitching and complaining about not getting their phone for Christmas, you know, it just amazes me. There's people my age complaining about not getting what they want for Christmas, and I just can't help look at those people and feel so sorry for them that they're living such a miserable life, and they are. They're living such a narcissistic, selfish life to where they're complaining on Twitter about not getting what they wanted for Christmas, and they're the same age as me, or a little bit younger. And I just think to myself, is this really what this generation of young adults has turned into? Is this mentality of, I need this, I want this, you don't give it to me, I'm gonna complain about my life? Dude, you're privileged. I don't mean in the white cis male privileged way, but you're privileged to live in this country. You're privileged to be able to even get an iPhone 6 for Christmas. Hell, my parents had a budget of almost, I think it was like $75 every single year for Christmas, and that $75 is what they used to buy gifts for each kid, and there's 3 people. Like, put that in perspective. I know people around Christmas spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on their children, but God, you know, I don't know. I feel as if Christmas is one of the most depressing holidays for me, and if you feel the same way, by all means, please leave a comment down below and let me know your thoughts. Thank you for watching.